starting your day with intention is so important. So many of us, and I was guilty to doing this at one point in my life, wake up and what's the first thing we do? Roll over, look at our phones. Immediately staring at our phones. Let me see if anyone texted me. Let me see who liked my Instagram post. Let me see who sent me emails. You are starting your day responding to other people's needs and just seeking external validation and attention instead of saying, oh my gosh, how do I want to start this day? Thank you for another day. I woke up again. That's not guaranteed.
Yep.
How do I want to feel today? Who do I want to be today?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Crystal Clear Business Podcast. Today, I'm joined by the incredible Lauren Fields of Fieldswell. She's an incredible, the master of learning how to take your health and wellness to the next level. Lauren, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. First of all, Crystal, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here with you. For our listeners, my name is Lauren Fields. I am the founder and host of Fieldswell. We are a podcast, a wellness sanctuary where we offer coaching, red light therapy, sound healing, and just have set out on a mission and a movement to help individuals really transform their lives and elevate their well-being.
Oh, it's so important. We need your services now more than ever.
People really need it.
Yes.
And I'm seeing that more and more. You know, I think the reason I created this Fieldswell movement and this wellness sanctuary is because it's what I was really looking for and couldn't find.
Absolutely. I mean, you have environmental stressors, relationships, a career. There's so many ways that people are overwhelmed in the world now. So if we can take some of these holistic approaches to integrating to feeling better, it's so important so that we can find that grounding and that balance. So we can be, professionals in our career and do the things we want to do that's sustainable.
Yeah,
I feel like
the sustainability piece, right? Like I think we're moving more and more quickly through the world. And it's like, how do we continue on and be successful while also prioritizing our own well-being?
Absolutely, because working really hard has been glorified for really, it's like, okay, I'm an overachiever. I worked 80 hours this week. And they glorify that aspect of it because we all want to be successful and we want to honor that. But the sustainability, it's like, well, yeah, you can probably run one marathon. Or maybe you could even run 2 marathons. But many of us are on like this 13th marathon and our body is like, wait a second, like I don't want to get to that burnt out stage, or you can almost feel it like coming sometimes.
Totally. Like you don't have to burn out to become successful. And so I think for me, like my greatest success has come from prioritizing my well-being. And so I want to help other people understand that like you really can feel good while pursuing your biggest dreams and goals, and feeling well along the way will help you get there and help you sustain whatever results you're looking to achieve.
So you don't have to burn out to be successful. I love that, Lauren. What a great little tagline for you. Because I think it's time to like switch the polarity on what you know was normalized of overworking, overdoing it. And I feel like it's also a little bit of an American thing because you go to Italy and they're let's take let's take the day, like let's
And I have found myself guilty of that. I just got back. I went to this conference, Brilliant Minds in Stockholm, and while I flew to Stockholm, which is 9+ hours travel to get there from here we are in San Diego. And so I thought while there, like, let me visit some of the other places in Europe. And there I am being like, oh my gosh, like work. Like it's hard for me to even turn off, even though I have this like very disciplined wellness lifestyle that I live. But what's a great reminder is like everyone there who's European is so relaxed and really in the present moment and enjoying life. And so while I may feel like I'm someone here who has this like wellness brand and lifestyle, like when I get there, I realize it's this whole other level of really how they live their lives. And it's a great reminder for us Americans.
I love that. It's so true. Less is more sometimes, but also it's hard when you're so passionate about what you do because I don't know about you, but like I find it oozing from me sometimes. I'm like, I see the next vision or I see the next step and it's like, okay, let's hurry up and get there. But at the same time, like if I'm do a little bit of the self-love and even the morning routine practices. I don't know if you do those, but for me, like it's a big setup for your day.
Can we talk about the morning routines for a minute? So I think starting your day with intention is so important. So many of us, and I was guilty to doing this at one point in my life, wake up and what's the first thing we do? Roll over, look at our phones. Immediately staring at our phones. Let me see if anyone texted me. Let me see who liked my Instagram post. Let me see who sent me emails. You are starting your day responding to other people's needs and just seeking external validation and attention instead of saying, oh my gosh, how do I want to start this day? Thank you for another day. I woke up again. That's not guaranteed. Yep. How do I want to feel today? Who do I want to be today? And those two differences, like for me now, my phone sleeps in the kitchen because I don't need, I've heard, I don't remember who said this, but they were like, when you open up your phone in the morning, you're essentially allowing all of those people into your sacred space or your bedroom.
Yes. And it's so much easier to get thrown off during the day when you don't take that time to yourself because you're not grounded and balanced. I didn't ever used to have a morning routine. I just was one of those people that was like, okay, I got to get up. My eyes are awake. Like my feet hit the floor, like, let's go. Yeah. But I noticed the substantial difference of just, even if it's just something for ourselves, like I like to make like my coffee and have like a mushroom coffee as well into it. And I like pour in like my intentions into the cup and drink my intentions for the day.
So
and
beautiful. The rituals.
Like the rituals, like making my life a ritual, making my life a ceremony and celebrating myself. I mean, even if it's taking a minute to cuddle my dogs in bed before I get out of bed, like that for me is so much more rewarding than just going straight to the phone, which, you know, maybe I would get maybe 5 more minutes worth of stuff done. Right. But taking that 5 minutes to ground myself in the morning, it's like, okay, now we can conquer the world.
Okay.
Like,
well, my morning routine's a little bit longer than 5 minutes.
I would love to hear yours.
A little bit longer than
Let's
5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I want to, for our listeners, like one of the biggest changes I've seen in my life is distance from technology and phone. Like I have to be on every day from say like 8 a.m. till like 6, 7 p.m. But then I put my phone on Do Not Disturb from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And that's my time away from technology. And that is hard. Okay, sometimes I break that as an entrepreneur, like need to be on. But also that distance from phone and technology has given me so much more space and calm in my life because I've learned that sleep is my biggest asset. I am so much more productive the next day. I have my Aura ring here, which I love to track my sleep. So much more productive the next day if I get a good night's sleep. So that needs to be the priority. And if that's the priority, what do I need to do to set myself up for success there?
Yeah, sleep is so underrated. We forget. I mean, when we're younger, we missed all of those nap times because we wanted to be awake. Now I'm like, as I'm older, like, can I just like take some time for myself?
And back to that like burnout culture, like sleep when you're dead. Like I don't abide by that because if my ultimate goal is to feel well, sleep needs to be a priority.
It's true. And it carries into so many different, like the chemical cocktails that the sleep produces and just being able to kind of get that restoration so that you're not running out of like fear and just like running towards that burnout.
Totally.
Because we don't want to there's certain things that you might want to check yourself about the glorification of certain things. Like you just said, like, I don't subscribe to that. Like we should be checking in with ourselves and seeing what it is we do subscribe to. And it's like, maybe I might want to change that up. Like there's something to be said about the pattern interrupt as well, where we've done certain things a certain way for a long time, but it's like, but is that serving me?
Can we talk about that for a second? Because it's also like our belief systems, which Jim Quick, one of the top brain coaches, calls BS. Our belief systems are BS. Why do you believe something about yourself maybe that isn't serving you? Like, I'm not capable of achieving this or, you know, I'll never be this way. Like, why do you believe that?
Yeah.
Is that what you want to believe? Is that going to help you get to where you want to go? Or do we maybe need to check, like, why do I believe it? And what do I need to believe instead that's more aligned with my desired future state?
And most people don't realize that most of our mental programming comes from those first 7 years of life. So we update our phone like every time it gets an update. But as far as our brain, like not I didn't know before I got into this field that you could actually update your mind. So the fact that we can find those old BS programs and say, okay, is this something that the 7-year-old version of me thought was a good idea?
Right.
Or now that I'm older and more mature and more like into fine-tuning my energy and my intention, like maybe there's something that needs to be shifted. And I think there's something to be said about personal growth when you tune into those areas.
Tune in, and some of the best time to work on that, like subconscious programming or reprogramming rather, is right before you go to bed or right when you wake up.
Yes.
And so that's why the morning routine is so crucial. And so that's where I like to implement some affirmations. Yes. I am love. I am light. I am abundant. I am worthy. I attract everything I desire. And then I flash images of the future, my desired future that I see myself working towards. And I sit in that, and you're really programming yourself. And I was driving to our wellness sanctuary that day, and I almost was like laughing because I have convinced myself to believe that no matter what I go after, I will find a way to make it a reality.
Yes. Yeah. I know I've seen you speaking on stages and panels and moderating, and sometimes I hear you saying some of the same statistics that I do, and I'm like, yes, go Lauren.
Yes.
Like the 80-90 rule, like every morning when we wake up, 80% of our thoughts are negative and 90% are a repeat of yesterday, which for our audience is why what she's saying is so important. And right before bed, if our subconscious is downloading everything, like why not send it some positive affirmations? Why not visualize your very best life? Why not do some of these things to kind of interrupt that so that when you're waking up, you're running out of like the possibilities of your best life?
And the other statistic that we have, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, which is so many thoughts. I didn't even realize that number sounds like staggering to me. But to use those thoughts and to realize you can influence your thoughts and choose to think of what you want in your life instead of what you don't want in your life. So many of us, and I've been there, we're sitting around ruminating about the past, ruminating about like the worst possible thing that could happen. And it's a total waste of time and energy.
Yeah. But I think it's also very common for people to get stuck in one of these, like I call it a negative manifestation loop, where it's like the same story is just keeps repeating itself.
Yeah.
But like for our audience, I didn't know that you could break free from that. I was like 42 years old when I realized like, oh wait, I don't have to become a prisoner to my thoughts and emotions. So what's some tips that you would give the audience for that?
I would say it took me a decade of going through my own struggles. And I read a book that was The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. And this book really changed my life. And it was essentially like one of the key messages was like, it's up to you to either enjoy this experience of being alive or to continue to be bothered by it. Like it's all on you. And so to take accountability for your life. And then I did my deep dive on health and wellness coaching, life coaching, yoga teacher training, and eventually a master's in psychology. And I realized like there is a lot of mental illness going on all around us, and you never know what someone has been through. And so to be kind always, but to also understand that you create your reality, and much of that is based on your own thinking, and to understand you can influence your thinking. And one of the best ways I have found to kind of elevate your well-being and to enjoy your life more is to think more positive thoughts, to start loving and believing in yourself, and to make choices that are in alignment with how you want to feel.
Yeah. I think similar to how like overworking has been glorified, I feel like maybe toxic and negative thought patterns have kind of become a normal to society, where we think it's okay to be harsh on ourselves and internally with our mental narrative. And I would challenge our audience to really listen to what Lauren's saying and starting to cultivate those thoughts, because if, let's say, hypothetically, 50,000 of those thoughts were negative, you're not going to end up with a positive outcome if you're the harshest critic in your own team mentally. So being able to find ways like someone like you to help break through physically and mentally and emotionally, going to some of those like your wellness center, being able to spend a day in that facility and being able to come back feeling like yourself again and being recharged and having some of these these limiting beliefs kind of be set to the side so that we can really, really dive into the true essence of who we are. Because essentially, I feel like it's a little bit of a blame culture, because if we blame it on this person or if we blame it on this experience, then it's not my fault.
We're not responsible.
But the moment we take that radical accountability, I believe it changes everything.
It does. And then there's no one and nothing in your way. Like, it's all on you. And I think that's a really liberating place to be. More of like why I feel like I'm sitting in this chair in my North Star is I actually grew up show jumping, horseback riding in San Diego, and was in a bad horse accident and was in a coma with a traumatic brain injury. And doctors had limiting beliefs about my future. And if I would have listened to them, I wouldn't be sitting here. If I would have believed like may have to relearn how to speak, may struggle with memory retention, may have difficulty walking, may become violent due to frustration about her circumstances, my life, if I believed that could have become my identity.
Yes.
And there were really low moments from neurological symptoms from that accident. But now I'm like, that's my North Star. That event gave me a story. If I, with a traumatic brain injury, can sit here, start a business, be on podcasts, speak on stages, so can you.
Yeah. Yeah, we share that. We both had a traumatic brain injury. I fell and broke my skull and cracked a couple of teeth and had to have my jaw rebuilt. And I had never had a brain injury before that. So when I couldn't actually speak my own words, I was like, it was very frustrating. It was the first time I had ever experienced everything. I had to go on a month of brain rest. Fortunately, I was not in a coma like you. Poor thing. Like, I can imagine like what you felt when you must have felt waking up, like not knowing where you were at, and everything about your life then changed.
Yeah. But I say this story not to be like, woe is me victim, but to be like, it's not in life what you've been through, but what you choose to do with what you've been through. And I think if you're feeling stuck, the best thing you can do is start to like share what you've been through, in the desire to help others who maybe have gone through something similar or who are also struggling, because that is really freeing. When you do the work to heal from what you've been through, and then you say, I want to share my story to help others.
And it's inspiring and relatable, because everyone's gone through something. All trauma is valid, whether it was an accident or there's a plethora of ways for us to get limiting beliefs or experiences of things that happen to us that could take us down. I mean, there are people every day that think that today is the last day, that they can't survive one more day. And it breaks my heart knowing that somewhere there's a little child sitting in a closet that's being human trafficked. Somewhere there's a child that's dealing with domestic violence. Somewhere there's a child that is hungry and doesn't have the food to eat. There are all these situations in life, but the more we take like that, what can I do? How can my story being shared help someone? And I love how that you are making an impact with your story, and not because of what you've been through, but because of how you came out of it.
Yeah. And I think similar to you, you know what I mean? I respect you and commend you for showing up, for starting your show, because it is to help and uplift others. And you never know who needs to hear your story. Exactly what you need to say could benefit someone right now who really needs to hear it. So if anyone, I would just encourage you to like stand up and share your voice, because you never know what's on the other side of that. For me, I was out of this toxic relationship, left with a suitcase with 2 items in it. And it was right at my 30th birthday. And I just thought, why aren't I really going after the things that I want in life, when like everything I thought was going to happen didn't happen and ended so like instantly? What am I waiting for? And that lit the fire under me to really go after my dreams and desires. Went for a TEDx talk, and that's where I met Mo Rock, Bill Walsh, Mo Rock with the LA Tribune, Bill Walsh with Power Team. That's how I met you. That's how I started a podcast. That's how I eventually opened my coaching practice. Like, it's just focus on that first step, that first thing, take that step, and you never know where it's going to lead to.
I love that. Both 2 incredible people, Mo Rock of the Los Angeles Tribune, who I'll be seeing tomorrow, and Bill Walsh, who we both are now working with. And he's a mentor for us. And I just love when you do follow that intuition in your heart, the doors that begin to open up that you would have never expected to open up before. I love to I use this little metaphor, and it's like, remember the Hansel and Gretel story where it's like they use the breadcrumbs to like get back to their house. Well, I feel like those synchronicities in life are the breadcrumbs. It's like, keep walking that direction.
Keep going.
You're going in the right direction, but then also like tune into the resistance. Like if you're trying to make something happen and the door keeps shutting for some reason, then maybe there's a reason why. So it's like, follow the breadcrumbs, tune into the resistance, but also just following your heart.
If there's resistance going straight, maybe you need to turn left.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe we don't know why. Maybe there's a bigger picture at play, but I don't think knowing why is the point.
Right. I think we spend so much time trying to figure out why. And I think a lot of people, they want all of this clarity before taking action. But the clarity comes after the action. It takes after you take action toward whatever your goal may be. And the importance of getting really clear on your goals is another big one.
Yeah.
What do you want? And sometimes you don't even know the answer to that. And so I think it's really important to sit with yourself, ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want?
What will it look like? What will it feel like? What is this? How will this vision help other people? How will it help myself? These are all really great questions to ask ourselves. But when we're overworked and we're stressed out and we're living in the grind, it's really hard to step back and ask ourselves those questions. Which, I mean, I wonder if that's part of like the cycle is if we're so busy, we can't tune into our reality, and then we're easier to suppress.
And we're so go, right? You know, with having a podcast, running a business, speaking on stages, like, you know, trying to network and meet people to be on the show, to work with, like, it is full gas, full speed, but then you have to be able to take your foot off the gas for a minute to check in, like, how am I doing?
So how are you doing, Lauren?
Oh my gosh. I'm great. I'm so lit up by the journey I'm on. Someone asked me, they were like, what do you do for fun? Like when you're not working? I'm like, this is like my life force is like building Fields Well, because it is something that healed me, was learning how to form a deep, loving relationship with myself, learning how to go inward, learning that there's this whole universe inside of ourselves waiting to be explored, and how to like dive in and really like learn who I am, what I want, and to finally get the courage to go after whatever those things are for yourself is like, I think and believe, one of the most incredible feelings in the world. And I'm sure you can attest to that.
I can. And because I can attest to it, when I see someone like you, who I can feel in her authentic energy, I can feel your passion for what you do. I know that you've helped yourself get through many of these situations, and that has now become a passion for others. It's like I'm constantly cheering for you. I'm like, oh, let's keep going. Because first of all, people need to hear it in different voices. Even if you and I say similar things, it's really important. Someone might resonate more with you, or they might think one of the modalities that you have is the key to what they have, what they need. So it's we're all different bio individuals.
Totally.
So if it's not a one size fits all healing process. So find the person that you relate to, or maybe it is a Bill Walsh that you're like, okay, I want to take my business to the next level. You know, there's so many people out in all of these industries, but you want to make sure that you're in attunement and alignment with those people before you move forward with them.
Totally. And I think one of the things you and I have both done is like found people we were inspired by and gotten as close to them as possible to be able to learn from them. And I like influence from many different people. I don't just have like one mentor. I have many mentors because again, yes, maybe their messages are similar, but they're all saying it in a different way, and it's really hitting. And so I want to learn from these people. And mentors don't always have to be like alive. They could be, they've written books that you love. You can listen to podcasts. Maybe you don't have the money to invest in a mentorship program right now, but you can listen to books, podcasts, like whatever it may be. Like surround yourself with mentors who have done what you're trying to do.
And then I love what you're saying about multiple mentors too, because I do this as well. Sometimes I'll vet them. I'll like watch them before I decide to work with someone else. And then also like what you said, like if one mentor says something, it's like, okay, I'm going to tune in. If 2 or 3 mentors say the exact same thing, then it's like, that's your cue to follow what that is that they're telling you. Because if multiple people are saying it, then there's something to it.
100%. And they're saying many things, but if you're picking up the same thing from all 3 of them, that's what you really need to be hearing right now. That's really resonating with you in this moment. So listen to that.
Absolutely. And sometimes you can learn from a bad mentor too. I will now, I vet my mentors now because of one mentor that I brought on that did not go as expected. And I think that that's part of the process as well.
What does vetting a mentor look like?
I just want to make sure that they're authentic. They're practicing what they preach. A lot of people say, talk a good game, but then you watch their lifestyle and they don't following up. Or one thing I noticed with Bill, I'll say this was a green flag for me, is he'll host events all over the world, and he has people showing up that he's known for 30 or 40 years. And for me, the other mentor was like, I don't have any friends. And I was like, well, that's a real big flag, like for me, because it's like either you're working too hard or you're not maintaining the relationships. And for me, if someone's maintaining a 30, 40-year relationship and every city he goes to, he's having these people show up, that's part of the vetting process, is like seeing if they really are who they say they are.
I think a key here that we're hitting on is the power of relationships. And it is so important to maintain and pour value into relationships and building relationships that are like win-win. Bill says quality time with quality people. Invest in relationships. They will change your life.
Yeah. And absolutely, I think we're also burnt out on the transactional relationships. I mean,
I don't have time for it.
You can feel it right away. It's like,
they'll like, what's in it for me? Like, no, you know what I mean? Like, how can I be here to be of service and provide value?
Exactly. How can we both benefit? How can I support you? How can I serve you? Those are the green flags I'm looking for. Not like, oh, I'm amazing. Look at my giant house. Look at this. And that, and how maybe you can tell me also how amazing I am. I'm like, I know. I already had one of those. I was married to one for a while.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I definitely, and same should be true for our audience and their relationships too. If you have someone that's a emotional vampire that's constantly sucking from you, one thing Bill does say is like, check your network. Like if there's people that are adding to your network, then that's great. Keep them there. But if there's someone that's constantly dragging you down or saying like negative things, or you tell them about something you're doing and they're like, oh, that's not a good idea, or no, you'll never make that.
Yes. Listen, like pay attention to how you feel after interacting with someone. We don't have time for people doubting us or pulling us down. Like there are plenty of people who will lift you up, who will cheer you on, and that's who you should be surrounding yourself with. Another point in regard to building relationships and growing in a positive direction is one person has the ability to completely change your life. One conversation, one meeting, one reach out. And so when you're looking to evolve or grow anything, like it can change in an instant, and just keep believing in that.
Yes. And a lot of times people think, oh, there's so many people in the world, like there's so many connections. But in reality, when you start to find your tribe, you'll start to see them at different events. Like you and I, when I was like, oh, there's Lauren again. I get to see her again. Or the guys at Icon Industries here. I'll be going to all these speaking events. I'm like, oh, you're doing audio and video. Like it's a team effort. So you definitely want to cultivate these relationships. If it's a small network of people, then you can develop a reputation, whether it's a good one or a bad one. That's where I think that radical accountability comes in. Like, are you showing up to just be like, look at me? Or are you showing up to be like, how can I help you?
You never know when you're going to see someone again. You never know when they may show up back in your life. And so it's so important to maintain quality relationships and show up as the best version of yourself. And just like you said, Crystal, I remember first seeing you, we were speaking on an LA Tribune virtual summit together. Fast forward however many months, we then meet in person. We've now are going to be at our third in-person event together this weekend. We didn't know that was going to happen in the beginning.
No. Yeah.
And here we are recording a podcast. Soon you'll be on the Fields Well podcast.
Yep.
And so I think it's really beautiful to watch relationships evolve and see the potential when you really show up as the best version of you and create valuable relationships.
And not only that, just because we're similar industries doesn't mean that there aren't ways that I can help support you. I know I have some joint venture stuff happening in Laguna. I'm like, want to pull you in.
I can't wait to hear more about that.
All of these things is, I had this like awakening at one point, and I was like, you know what? What good is it if I get to the top if I don't have my community with me?
Listen, I used to be someone who wouldn't share what I was working on or what moves I was making until it was totally done. This chapter of mine has been a lot different. I've been open about starting a wellness sanctuary, about where the podcast is going, and you would be blown away with the amount of people who have shown up to want to help me and be a part of it, that I would almost like want to cry about it because I'm just so grateful. And it's because I shared something about myself. I was vulnerable. I shared what I was working on before it was perfect, and this whole perfection thing, let's just blow that out the window.
Yes,
not perfect, open,
please. Yes.
open, and that's when you attract your tribe, I feel like, is when you share parts of yourself with other people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely on an energetic frequency too. Like as you elevate, your tribe might be different too. Yeah. Like I think my tribe, 5 or 6 years ago wouldn't be the tribe I have now. But my tribe is so important to me. So if you're listening, you are so important to us. Let me tell you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for listening to Lauren and I talk today. But I think celebrating the wins, taking the time to see, because I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. When I started writing books like Crystal Clear Mindset, I'd have to not tell my kids about it because they'd be like, Mom, don't do that. You can't do it. It's never going to work. And I would be like, no, just watch. Let me show you. Yes. And then so instead of like letting them know, I'd be like, okay, here it is. Look what Mom just did. I just accomplished this. I think it was after like the 5th or 6th book, they're like, okay, now you're an author. And I was like,
oh my
really?
gosh.
It took that long to get your credibility. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Wow.
But it just really showed me some of the other programming that they had to work through too. So, maybe some of your champions are still watching you on the sideline, and that's okay too. I have that. I have an analogy. Also another one about popcorn. Like not when you have a bag of popcorn, not all the kernels pop at the same time. Like some right away. Totally. Some of them take more heat. Some of them never pop. They're just loving people like exactly who they are and where they are.
Yeah, but I think you can't be in it for the hand claps or the approval or the validation. It's got to be your own journey and your deep desire and from your heart.
Yeah. You can just tell the difference between someone who's like heart-centered and leading with their intention versus someone who's like, I have a goal of hitting $20,000 this month. It's like, ew. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like,
I want to make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like that's not, again, focus back on providing value, being of service, and helping. People need help.
Yeah.
Find your unique gift and give it away.
And don't be afraid to receive the help.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of people know they need help, but don't know what to do or don't know what first step to take, or they know they're hurting. They're hurting that they're hurting, but they're hurting to take that first step.
Yeah.
So I would like to say, like, you're probably going to be in pain either way. You're going to be in pain staying stuck, or you're going to be in pain as you come out of being stuck. But which one would you prefer?
Here's what I think is finally a big turning point for a lot of people. The pain of staying the same becomes bigger than the fear of change. And that's when they finally take that first step. But I think it's really important to realize it makes people feel good when they're able to help you. And so welcome people's help. Ask for help. I'm so excited to help anyone. If you're curious about starting a podcast, if you're looking for a coach, if you like anything that I've done that you have questions about, let me help you. That would make me feel good.
And if you're hearing this podcast today, maybe there's a reason why. Maybe you're meant to work with Lauren. Maybe there's a reason why that you heard her message today, and maybe something resonated with you so deeply that you're like, today is the day. I don't want to go another day feeling this pain. There's no reason to carry that boulder another step up the mountain. Let's let go of the boulder and you can go up the mountain in more peace and more joy.
We don't know how much time we have left. We think we have on average, 80 to 100 years. of life. I mean, now longevity is upon us. It's like I'm not going to be able to live a lot longer, but like accidents happen, freak things happen. Like if today is your last day, like is it worth worrying about or being upset about the thing that happened 10 years ago that you can't change?
Yeah.
Or do you want to start going after some of your greatest dreams and desires and start living fully?
Yeah, these are the questions we should be asking our friends too. And I know it's like a culture where I've changed this. I used to be a person that would gossip and kind of just talk about like whatever the society was talking about. I don't really do that anymore because I find that there's so many positive things to talk about. But I think if you could shift that time, if this is something that's happening in your life where you find yourself just talking about other people or situations, like maybe reframe that time to take those moments to ask some of the questions we were asking earlier. Like, what would my future life look like? What are my intentions moving forward? What would I love to create in the world?
What are my goals? You know, about the gossip, I want to say this. My dad taught me from a very young age, and he would say, and I don't know if he made this quote up or if someone else had said it, but it was, what you say about others says more about you than it does about them.
Go dad.
And I really love that because when you're around someone and they're just talking negatively about other people, okay, what are you going to say about me when I'm not around you?
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
I just think, why are we talking poorly about this person who's not here? Like, and also how you experience someone else is all just based on your unique programming.
You're mirroring your own insecurities in some way.
Yeah. And so back to, it says more about you than them. So pay attention. And I think another important thing when we were talking about how you think of yourself and how you talk to yourself is so important in learning how to love yourself. Start paying attention to how the people you surround yourself with, the comments they make about themselves.
Yeah.
The more work I've done in psychology and in affirmations and meditation, when I'm around people and I watch them they make a lot of oftentimes negative comments about themselves. And I realize, like, I don't even think you notice what you're saying and what you're doing because you're always listening.
Yeah. There's an acronym called ANTS, the automatic negative thoughts. And once you start to tune into them, you realize that it really is not only just hurting yourself, but like you said, if our subconscious mind is operating us 95% of the time and we're asking ourselves these negative questions like, well, how come I'm not successful at this? Or why am I failing at this? We're actually answering those questions to ourselves, which is deepening that.
And I'll catch myself in it and I'll have to laugh and say, not serving me. What do we want to think instead?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Time to cancel what I just delete. Yeah. I take that back. Sometimes when you start to cultivate it, you notice it like right when it's coming out. You're like,
oh yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But it's like mastering your own human and forming a really positive relationship with yourself and to become your biggest cheerleader.
That's why when I get to see someone like you, Lauren, like that's out there advocating for herself, advocating for others, it brings joy to my heart to see because I know that you really do care about people. I know that you're creating this whole business and this whole movement to help the masses of people that are out there suffering and struggling. And it's a real thing. Like loneliness is a huge issue right now. Isolation is a huge issue right now. Social stigmas are huge. If we can take some of these pressures and use someone like you to help bridge the gap to where we now feel like we have someone in our corner. We have someone championing for us because we know she's championing for herself. And I think that's a really, that's a green flag for someone I would work with is if they're out there doing it for themselves, then they've learned some of this stuff that I want to learn from as well.
Thank you. I read Jim Quick's book Limitless, and he said, like, you can't make someone else change. The best thing you can do is lead by example.
Yeah.
And I know that opening Fieldswell, the wellness sanctuary, was betting on myself, but I felt called to do it. And I knew that if I opened it, the people would come. And at times it has felt like this incredible revolving door of people that I didn't even know yet who have shown up, and I'm sitting in a chair with them in that room and they're like, I feel like I can breathe again. Like I feel, and what we've created there is I wanted individuals to feel like they've come to my home. I put a lot of intention into how I design this space because I feel like where we spend our time and our environment shape our mindset and how we think. I wanted to create a place where people felt safe and warm and inspired. And I'm just so grateful for what it has attracted into my life because there are people who need help and who need healing and who need a safe place to do so.
Exactly. So with that note, how would they go see this adorable space? Because I've seen pictures. I'm still after Chicago when we get back. I want to go see the location in person. But how would they get a hold of you? How would they go to check out the location? Because it's so cute.
Sure. Thank you, Crystal. So for social media, I'm most active on Instagram, and it's my name, Lauren Fields. And you can also visit, there's Fieldswell. It's my last name, Fields and Wellness combined, Fieldswell on Instagram or fieldswell.com. And you can book an appointment or call us or text us or message us on there to come in and see us.
Yes, I know we're going to be all over the place seeing each other again. Yes. I love whenever I get to see you in all of these locations, whether I know we were at Jeff's podcast the other day watching Bill give a little presentation. I was like, is that Lauren? That is Lauren. It's so cute to just see. And I would implore the community to also follow you on social media, check out the events you have coming up. I'm sure there's plenty of things for them to stay tuned to.
Yes, we're actually going to be hosting a wellness festival in late July in San Diego. So follow me. We'll be sharing more about that and invite links soon.
I will be staying tuned for that myself.
Yes.
I love it. Well, anything else you want to tell our guests before we close up today?
I would say to our guests, you are the creator of your reality. And I would just encourage you to take full accountability, like we've talked about, and really ask yourself, what do I want in this life? And what's blocking me from achieving it? And get really clear and then start to take action toward it.
Yes, this was such a valuable episode. And also learning to be an advocate for yourself. Just because a doctor says that this is a condition that you might have. I've had this happen as well, where at 33, I went postmenopausal. And they were like, well, we can cut your uterus out in under an hour. And I was like, no, thank you. Pass. I think I'll pass on that. Like, is that supposed to be a good thing, a selling point? And similar to what you do, I went to someone who I could do some major detoxing, and there are ways to heal a lot of the things that you think might not be healed. Be cautious of when someone gives you a diagnosis. I'm just saying, I'm not saying we cure any diagnoses. What I'm saying is that you are supposed to be the advocate for your own health, mental and physical well-being, and finding alternative holistic approaches is, in my opinion, the best way to find success in the future.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. Well, talking from two ladies who've been through it themselves, we've tried probably everything out there.
I've been a guinea pig.
Yeah. I've learned a lot, though. It's been a great process.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah, but I definitely would highly recommend you to our audience. And thank you for joining us for this podcast today, Lauren.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.